Welcome to Jumpers for Goalposts, your weekly roundup of non-league football across the Midlands. Lots and lots to get through this evening. I'm going to start with the FA Cup. It was the second qualifying round of the FA Cup last weekend, and where better to start than the game between Grantham Town and Alvechurch. This is Alvechurch TV.
Next.
Great win there for Alvechurch. Their reward, if reward is the right word, is a trip to Buxton in the third qualifying round next weekend. Now, Stafford Rangers had an excellent win in the Cup last weekend in the big Staffordshire derby against Tamworth at Marston Road. Let's see the goal and Neil Kitchen, the Rangers manager's reaction after the game. Filming courtesy of Mark White.
So Neil, plenty to be pleased about in that. A great win.
Oh yeah, fantastic win for the club. Said it in the week, you know, we need to try and go on a bit of a run in the FA Cup. So well overdue. I think that's the first time in 10 years we've been past the second qualifying round. So I'm more pleased with that. But more pleased with just the performance. You know, saw bright sparks, if you like, Tuesday night at Warrington that we'd found something. You know, good response from last Saturday's result against the performance against Witten. Saw it on Tuesday night, unlucky not to get a result on Tuesday night against Warrington, but today I thought we were magnificent in terms of making sure our shape was right, not allowing their threat, i.e. the front three, to get on the ball early and cause us problems, and making sure that we held a good shape when they had possession and tried to counter-attack. Obviously when there was a turnover possession we had it. Thought we could have done that better, especially first half, but when we did do it we looked a threat, and it was just all about making sure that we retained the ball well when there was a turnover possession and having that bit of quality, and the goal come from that. You know, I think it was Brisk or maybe Jack Sherritt nicked it. Keep possession out to Studge. Studge plays a lovely ball into feet, which is what we're looking to do with the two wide players. And Ozzy just does what we knew he can. You know he can do: get at the full back, deliver a cross or a shot, delivers a cross, and Isaac pops up at the back post. Fantastic goal, and I'm just really pleased that the players have took on board the way we've asked them to play today, and that's making sure that we're solid, narrow when we haven't got the ball, hard to break down, frustrate, make it uncomfortable for Tamworth, and hopefully have that little bit of quality in the final third, which we did.
You mentioned the wing play. A lot of the play came down those both flanks, and it was the two wings who combined for the goal as well. So
it is very pleasing. I'm a little bit disappointed, I've got to be honest, that the amount of times that we won back possession, the turnover of possession, especially second half, that we haven't shown a little bit more belief to go on and get a second, because there are times in that game when they've committed bodies forward and we could have really gone and killed the game off. Not with anybody extra than the front three. I just think that we've got good possession off Ozzy, then off Brad, and off Greggs, and off Isaac, where we could have gone and won the game a little bit more comfortably. But yeah, you're right that the width and the wing play, especially from Ozzy first half, and from Isaac, but Isaac's obviously having to cut in, he can't really get to the byline and deliver across, was good. It can be better, and I think there were signs of it getting better. We're a little bit too deep first half. You know, we were almost too deep too early, playing like six at the back, and we're saying to Ozzy and Isaac we've got to be a little bit higher up the pitch, shutting the line off and making it difficult for them to get out. And I thought first half we allowed them to get out too easily. We'd said that they didn't hurt us. Did it a lot better second half, and that's where the goal come from.
And Adam's not had much to do really. So
one key save, second half, down low, again good concentration levels. Everything they did today was in front of us really. A couple of times Callum Powell left side, getting behind Studge, but I thought Studge managed him really well. He was their threat, we knew he'd be a problem, and he's done well, but everything that he'd done we kind of managed, which was good. And like you say, not a real threat in behind, everything was in front of us today, and our back four cope with their front three really.
Second game for Abu Dhabi after Tuesday night, do you think he's added something?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a bit tentative Tuesday night, learning about his teammates, learning new things, what we're asking him to do from his previous clubs. That's not, anything out of the ordinary, but learning about us, learning a little bit about him. He's got pace to burn, as you can see. I think his confidence has probably been a little bit low because he hasn't been playing at Shore Lane, and the move to Southport didn't quite work out for him. So, we've got a lad that's got obvious ability, but he needs to pick me up. And we saw signs Tuesday, but we've definitely seen today what the kid's got. He's got great technique, pace to burn, and he's going to be a threat. It's what we've been looking for from the existing squad. We've looked at it and thought we need to add to it, and he's come in and he's done well.
Was it a knock that he picked up?
Yeah, it's a kick. Yeah, it was a kick first half. He got a kick, just a kick on the ankle, and he hasn't played a lot of football either. So you get 65, 70, 75 minutes in, and especially the work you're asking the two wide players to do against the top 5 Conference North side. Let's be honest. So they've had a lot of the ball, and it's a big shift that wing play for both wingers, because you've got to give us an attacking threat when we win back possession, but you've also got to tuck in and make it difficult for their wide players when you haven't. So all over the pitch it's difficult, but in those wide areas you need to put a right shift.
What was your opinion on Louis Briscoe's yellow card? I think except the goal wouldn't stand, but it seemed a bit harsh to
I think it's harsh to book him. I don't know the ruling on it personally. He should have brought the book, in my opinion. I don't know whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. Bring the play back and let Louis take the drop ball again, but make sure it goes in the keeper's hand. I think Louis just spoke to him now about it. I think Louis was just trying to make it difficult for the keeper rather than just roll it into. It's one of them. If the goal would have stood, then I would have allowed them to kick off and walk through and score in our net. And we're not one for going against the rules. At the end of the day, the drop ball, and the keeper should have had his hand.
And I'm sure I've drawn so you're game on Tuesday now, so a week to work on something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm happy or unhappy about that. I wanted, you're on a little bit of a win, and you want to go on a bit of a run and keep the run going. Builds confidence, but I'm also happy in a way that we could do with a breather. I think that's 11 games in 33 days, something like that. A game every 3 days. It's tough, and we've got players playing with knocks and bruised calves and hammies, and it's just tough. And we're asking a lot of them because the last 2 weeks haven't been good. So you're trying to get every ounce that you can out of them, energy-wise and ability-wise. And it's mentally draining as well as physically draining. So we'll have a look, see what the situation is, but we'll probably have a little bit of a breather Tuesday and just everybody catch their breath a little bit, and then have a good 2.5 hour session on Thursday and work on stuff for Saturday's game.
The two lads, since they Levi and Kieran, hoping that gap might give them a chance to.
Yeah, well, Levi has been carrying a groin injury for a couple of weeks now, and he plays, and then he's struggling for 2 or 3 days after he's been off work with it. He can't hardly walk, so that's not going to get better unless it's rest. So we left him out today. Kieran's sore. He's got an abscess on his stomach, which is sore, and he's been on antibiotics, and the hospital have told him no exercise. So he's having to do what the hospital say. So we'll just see what happens with that. Course of antibiotics, hopefully that clears up.
And I'm just hoping for a good draw on Monday in the next round.
Yeah. It's good for the club. A few quid in the bank. Half decent gate, so that will be split plus the £5.5 grand for winning. Good home draw. Let's have a home draw and pack the place out again and see where it takes us. A little bit of momentum. Just hoping we're on a bit of a run now and start fulfilling our potential. I'm pleased with the response since last Saturday against Whitby. We've had a good performance away at Whitby, and we've put a right shift into today. Energy levels against a good, like I say, good top 5 Conference North side. We've managed to get a result, so let's enjoy it for a bit.
A happy Neil Kitchen there, and what a fantastic draw for Rangers in the 3rd qualifying round next weekend. They played Tamworth last round, Next round, it's AFC Telford United at Marston Road. It should be a big gate. And could that actually be the game that the BBC decide to televise? Let's wait and see. Now, Harman from the Midlands Football League had the long journey over to Lincolnshire to face National North Boston United. Here are the highlights. A fantastic result there for Ormond over at Boston, and they were so unlucky not to win it right at the end. Unfortunately for them, Boston United turned up with their A game at the Village on Tuesday. Boston going through 5-0 on the replay. But well done, Ormond, furthest they've ever got in the FA Cup in their history, and I'm sure that will stand them in good stead in the Midland Premier Division this season. Last Saturday I was at Shepshed Dynamo to see them take on Nantwich Town. They'd beaten Leek Town 6-1 in the previous round. Could they take another Eva Sticks scalp? Here are the highlights from Dabbers TV.
Hey, last man he is there. See you later. He's not the last man, he didn't fight. Go on. Come on, Billy.
All right,
Disappointing result there for Shepshed. If they'd taken their chances in the first half, I'm sure it'd be they that were in the third qualifying round, but it wasn't to be for this year. Rushall Olympic faced a really difficult tie away at AFC Mansfield. Here are the highlights of the first leg, courtesy of Rushall Olympic TV.
Go on, JJ! Well, mate, caught with him with Ashley. Oh!
Yeah, no, he's turned them down. And somebody on one of the
Their draw there between Rushall and AFC Mansfield. The replay took place at Dales Lane on Tuesday, and it was the visitors, AFC Mansfield, that actually went through. They won it 2-1, and they will now host Boston United in the third qualifying round. Good side AFC Mansfield, saw them beat Quorn earlier in the season in the FA Cup. They could give Boston a really good run for their money. On to the Everstick Premier Division now, and Hensford Town, with their new management team, travelled all the way to Cumbria to face Workington Town last Saturday. Let's see how they got on. Disappointing result there for the Pitmen, and there'll be more highlights from Hensford later in the programme. In midweek, there were excellent wins for Haleslow in town and Stourbridge, both away from home on Tuesday night. That moves Haleslow up the table slightly, at least they're away from that dreaded bottom place. Stourbridge, our only side in the Midlands, challenging at the top of the table in the Everstick Premier. In the Everstick South, the result of the week is undoubtedly nothing to do with any of the Midland clubs, but it has to be Peterborough Sports 1, Stocksbridge Park Steels 9. And no, Jamie Vardy hadn't made a return to Stocksbridge. They just ran riot over sports and signalled their intention, I think, of being a challenger this year. The top two met on Monday night, Baseford United and Cleethorpes Town. A good crowd of 220 saw a 2-2 draw, keeping both sides well and truly in the hunt. And we also saw good wins for Market Drayton and Chasetown. Chasetown with a 4-3 win, Drayton scoring some goals as well, and it gives them both a little bit of impetus to move up that table. In the MFL Premier Division, leaders Coleshill Town lost their unbeaten record, going down 1-0 at Rugby Town. A 90th minute goal from Josh Ruff, and also 2 Coleshill players sent off at the same due to the same incident. So great result for Rugby, disappointing one there for Coleshill. Bromsgrove Sporting travelled to Coventry United, and the early kick-off on Saturday. Let's see the highlights of that game from Sporting TV.
Down to do participate, you are allowed to smoke in open areas around the goal. You can relive the action from today with video highlights of the match from tomorrow morning.
Nice to meet you, how are you?
Of the Rugby League season.
Yes, please.
A great result there for Bromsgrove, and all the great results for Worcester City, who beat Quorn 8-0 at the Victoria Ground. They've suddenly made a rush up the table. Worcester looking at a real threat. Mark Danks, Dave Reynolds and Lee Hughes all on the score sheet. In Division 1 of the Midlands Football League, Walsall Wood lost their 100% record, going down 2-0 at Leicester Road. Surprising result in a way, because Road hadn't started well this season, but a good win for them, but disappointing for the Wood. Heather St John's also scored 8. They're in a great run of form. They beat Coventry Sphinx 5-4 in the Vars, an 8-0 win. They got goals all the way through the side, and they look a real threat towards the top of the table. But at the top of the table, it's Studley that remain on top. They won 3-0 away at Chelmsley Town, and after all, we've not played many games, but Studley are still there, and they are the side to beat. In Division 2 of the Midlands Football League, leaders NKF Burbage were held to a 2-2 draw by Northfield Town. Hampton were the big victors, a 1-0 win over Bloxwich Town, but the side that struggled in Division 2 last season now find themselves in second place with a real opportunity of pushing on with that. In Division 3 of the Midlands Football League, GMP Sports, what can you say? Played 5, won 5, new team to the MFL. They beat Coventryans 2-1. Decent crowd as well at Coventry Athletics track. My understanding was an awful lot of people that went to the Coventry United fixture, which kicked off at 12, took my advice and went on to GMP Sports in the afternoon. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the afternoon. Also a great win for Birmingham Tigers, another one of our new sides in the Midlands Football League. 5-3 away at Shipston Excelsior. That really gets them up and running. Lots of cup competitions in the MFL, both last weekend and in midweek. But last weekend, two results really stand out. Smithswood first, 4-0 win at Montpellier. Montpellier going great guns in Division 2. Smithswood scored all those 4 goals in the first 20 minutes of that game. Great result for them. And the shock that I anticipated and said would happen last week, FC Stratford of Division 3 going to Pelsall Villa in Division 2. Not really a shock. Stratford winning 7-2. Dylan Parker scoring 4 goals this week. James Gifford scored 4 the previous week. And I know Stratford want to keep below the radar, but if you keep scoring goals like that, guys, you ain't keeping below any radar whatsoever. In midweek, we saw the Polymac Packaging League Cup first round and a couple of second round fixtures. And there were a number of shocks. Paget Rangers, Coventry Alvis, Littleton and Lichfield City from Division 1, all knocking out Premier Division opposition. But let's start the highlights with Bromsgrove Sporting, who had a real scare at Pershore Town. Here are the highlights courtesy of Sporting TV.
Going down to his house, grabbing something.
Littleton's basically Pershore Town Reserve.
Two against.
Well,
Terrible slow.
Defenders his ass for it.
You'll get tighter, you've got to be tighter, much tighter. You've got to be way tighter than that. That's Dave. I'm doing. Devon's not tight enough in the slot. Shouldn't defend it. Pathetic. Work a bit harder, mate. It's amazing, isn't it? Where do you think he was going to head that to?
Yeah, every Monday club you.
Thursday club being properly.
Where was Portland?
Go on. Run it.
Back on the down,
Well, what a fight back from Sporting, and what a goal from Jason Cowley to win that game. We're here again on another. It seems to rain every time I come to this place, but we're here again at Walsall Wood, and they entertain Chelmsley Town in the Polymac Packaging League Cup on Tuesday night. Here are the goals.
We've fucking about 3 minutes left. Turn! Yes! Man on there! Fucking hell, man!
A good win there for the Wood, sees them through to the next round. Now, there was no shock at Rennie Road on Tuesday night when Bowl Hall Swifts entertained Highgate United. Let's see the goals, courtesy of the one and only Mark Brooks.
He slipped. It's John Larkins. He slipped over. Oh, it's a goal. He's gone through Jake Fogarty, and Marco Adagio has given Highgate the lead. Oh dear. Highgate coming in. He's got himself around Jamie Andrews. Oh, it's a good cross, Adagio. And it's Lee Brown. No, he's offside. Perhaps he shouldn't have even touched that. Josh Hawker with this free kick. Captain Hawk. And Highgate double their lead. Oh, it's a great ball. Oh, and it's a goal. It's Adagio again. It's 2-0. It's a superb header from Adagio. And here come Highgate again. Cam Knight with Wilcox. Oh, he's done well. Gets a decent ball in. Oh, it's a wonderful finish. And it's Lee Brown who makes it 3-0. Here's Josh Hawker. Oh, it's a wonderful ball. Oh, Jake stood still. Can they score? It's Lee Brown with his second. It's 4-0. I thought it was Adagio at first, but it's Lee Brown. And 4-0. Free kick to Highgate. It's going to be Josh Hawker, Highgate's captain. Oh, and it's gone through. It's 5-0. And oh dear. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, and look here, Highgate's still there. Adagio. Oh, what a great save from Fogarty. Superb save. The great man with the throw. Here's George. Gives it to Ricks again. Ricks into Hawker. Back to Ricks. Beautiful play by Highgate. Keeping the ball. It's Josh Hawker again. It's a lovely ball. Oh, and it's oh well. Lee Brown's been given offside. Well, and here's great tape from Adagio, and what a goal! That's 6-0, and that's his hat trick. It's a superb finish by Marco Adagio. Absolute class player.
A thumping win there for the Gate, and Mr. Brooks was on his travels the following evening, where he went to the game between Quorn and Atherstone Town. Great finish to this game. Again, commentary and coverage courtesy of Mark Brooks.
Here we go. Comes in. Oh, and they take the lead. 1-0 to Quorn. An early goal. Oh, corner through again. Oh, what a save from Mouse. Oh, another good save from Mouse. But Quorn still have it. Mouse is there. Quality from the Mouse. Okay, to corner. Oh, and it's 2-0. And well, it's a really bad start for the Adders. He's unlucky. He's in advance. Oh, it's Luke Shorthouse. Oh, he was clear. Well, the ref's got a decision to make here. Yes, and he's he's been sent off. And well, I think it was right. Aaron O'Neill. Luke Shorthouse. He's just over the bar. Kai Green does well. It's Ryan Ball. Josh Willis. Now Danny Harris. Danny Harris looking for Ash Gray. Oh, it's a great ball. Yes. Oh, what a great save from Ryan Ball. Oh, I thought that was in. Oh, it's a nice ball. It's Danny Harris. Can he get a good crossing? It's a great ball. And oh, Carl Turner's unlucky. Hits the target with the header. Oh, it's Carl Turner's got a little flick. Come back to the keeper. Luke Shorthouse is unlucky. Oh, he's done well. Yes, go on, Eggy. Yes, and the Adders are back in it. It's now 2-1. Brilliant work by Luke Shorthouse. He never gave up, and it gave Eggy the simple task of putting the ball into the empty net. Nice ball in towards Luke Shorthouse. Kyle Turner. Oh yes! It's Kyle Turner. Luke Shorthouse again with the assist, and the Adders have pulled it back. It's now 2-2. Penalty, and it's a good one. Okay, it's Ryan Ball with the Adders' first penalty. Oh, it's a good save. Okay, it's going to be Corn second penalty, and 2-0 to Corn. Okay, it's Luke Shorthouse for the Adders. Oh, it's a good penalty. It's now 2-1 to Corn. Okay, it's Corn's third penalty. Oh, it's hit the bar, yes! It's still 2-1 to Corn. One miss each. Okay, it's Ash Gray. Can he equalise for the Adders? Yes! It's now 2-2. Come on, Macy. Oh, it's a good penalty, that is. And it's 3-2 to Corn. Okay, Kyle Turner, who scored the equaliser in normal time. Yes, and he's got the equaliser now in the penalty shootout. 3-3. Oh, Mace. In the middle of the goal. Come on, Macy. Oh, he's give Corn the lead, 4-3. Okay, it's Danny Harris. Needs to score. Oh, what a goal! Oh, you can't get a better penalty than that. And it's now 4-4. Okay, it's Corn. Oh, it's gone underneath the mouse. Oh, Jesus, he's unlucky. Okay, it's Niall Rowe. Oh, no, he's missed, and Corn have gone through. Well, he's unlucky, Adders.
Preview of the weekend now, and we'll start with the FA Vars. Lots of fixtures for our clubs across the West Midland League, Midland Football League and the East Midland Counties League. I've picked out a handful that have got significant interest. Bilston Town from the West Midland Regional League at home to Hormond, knocked out of the FA Cup in midweek. Hormond won the West Midland League last season, going back to old haunts. They put 12 goals on Bilston last season without conceding in the league. They will be favourites, but Bilston already knocked out Bowlhall in the previous round. Should be a good game at Queen Street. Heather St John's host Roaster, so that's Midland League Division 1 against Premier Division. Heather in great goal scoring form. Roaster, previous round, won 8-5. This one is not going to be a 0-0 draw at St John's Park, trust me. Heath Hayes against Wolverhampton Sporting Community. That's the game I'm intending to go to. Heath Hayes, excellent football inside, Midland League Division 1, like to keep the ball on the deck. Wolves Sporting, what can you say about Sporting? Played 7, won 7 at the top of the West Midland League. Clear favourites for promotion from that division. Should be a really, really good game of football. And Holbrook Sports against Quorn. Holbrook have had a rather interesting season this season. League form's not been brilliant, but they knocked out Heanor Town in the previous round at Heanor, even though they were down to 10 men. Quorn aren't going to fancy the trip too much at all. Not in great form themselves, and that 8-0 thumping at Worcester City last weekend may well stick in their memory. But those are just 4 of many, many fixtures across the Vars. Go along to a game, you will not be disappointed. In the Everstick League, 3 of our sides are facing the top 3 in the league. Stafford Rangers travel to second place Shore Lane. Tough fixture this for Rangers. Shore Lane have started really well in the Premier Division this season. Rangers will do well to come away from there with anything at all. Rushall Olympic travel to leaders Whitton Albion, and the Picks are having a torrid season, struggling down the bottom of the table. And again, you can't see them getting anything from Wincham Park, but you never know. This is football after all. And Hales Owen face third place Warrington. It's strange how these games pan out. The Elks, good win in midweek, Will that give them the morale boost that needed to take on Warrington at the Grove? Time will tell. Hensford Town go to Mickleover Sport, but Hensford had a good win in midweek. They were at home to Nantwich Town. Here are the highlights.
Well, you can do it because it's in the middle now.
Just run through the last 30 minutes, that's that is Nantwich. In goal.
In the Everstick South, Alvechurch, flying high after promotion from the Midlands Football League, are at home to Stamford in a game Church will be expected to win. And the other interesting game that I've picked out there is Stocksbridge Park Steels, after their 9-goal win last week at home to Market Drayton. Should be a Stocksbridge win, but at Brackenmore, hopefully the wind won't be blowing too much and Drayton can have a decent performance. Only 2 fixtures in the MFL Premier Division this week, and both affect the top of the table. Bromsgrove Sporting are at home to Lye Town. That's 4th against 7th. Local derby, bragging rights, should be a cracker at the Victoria Ground. And how about this one at the Dovecot? Shepshed Dynamo in 6th against league leaders Coleshill Town. Interestingly, how did Coleshill react to losing last Saturday? They went and brought in Jordan Adat back into the club from Hensford Town. Jordan scored loads of goals for them last season, and I'm sure he'll be welcomed in open arms. So a chance there for Coleshill to open up a bit of a gap, but Shepshed will be looking to close that gap themselves. Only 1 fixture in Division 1 of the Midlands Football League, again due to the FA Vars, and what a game it is. We seem to be blessed with great fixtures this weekend, and it's Ilkeston Town against Hinckley AFC. Now, if you look at the league table, Ilkeston are 10th. You think, well, why is that such a big fixture? Well, they're in really, really good form, as are Hinckley, averaging over 600 into the new Manor Ground. Ilkeston expect another big gate. Hinckley fans will travel in their numbers. We could see a 700-800 gate there. Should be a cracker. Highlighted 2 games in MFL Division 2. Smithswood Firs in great form at home to Feckenham have also started well. Smithswood would hope to win that one at the Glades, but again they need to maintain that result they had last week away at Montpellier in the League Cup. And Montpellier themselves travel to Earlswood Town. They can close the gap on leaders NKF Burbage with a win. They'll want to bounce back. They'll have their full strength side this week, no doubt. So expect Montpellier to be gunning for the 3 points. League leaders GMP Sports are at home to CT Shush. Interesting one, this one. Both sides unbeaten. Admittedly, GMP have won every game. CT, I think they've won 2, drawn 2. Good game, good challenge for GMP. Can they maintain this superb start to the season? And talking a superb start to the season, yes, I'm sorry guys, I'm mentioning FC Stratford again. They're away at Continental Star. A good game this one at the Hub. Stratford in great goal scoring form. Star had mixed results, but on their day, a really good footballing side. So if you want to see goals, I'll suggest a trip to the Hub. As usual, under 21s and reserve divisions, lots and lots of fixtures, and time now for some action from those leagues. We're going to start off in the under 21 league with a game between Brockton and Whitchell Wanderers. Here are the highlights.
Go on, Matt, hit it! Time. Turn out! Man on, straight. Right wing. Yes, Ollie! Hold it. Yes, Kieran! There you go. Time. Keep going. Let's slip it! Unlucky. Tempi on you, Sam. Come back. Keep moving. Clear! Mate, touch. You got one! Get off! And second! Up! Win that! That's yours, Reece. I'm happy with that. Cheers, Kieran! Thank you! Back guard, guys, offside. Inside the game. I reset there. Get off a second. Yes, 11's 40 from behind. That's it, that's clean it up, please.
Drop in then. Too many shit free kicks, boy. Switch on. We give him another option. Thank you, Bobby. Yes, thank you.
I'll bounce it back if you want. No.
Get off. Charlie. Easy, down there! Yeah. Step!
Come on, let's go back on this way! Get up, Sid!
You still are.
Keep it on one end!
Go on, Matt!
What's along? Go
on! Right! Have a pot! Let's! On the end! Yes, Ryan!
Get it, Robbie. Good, Robbie. Robbie, get him off. Man on. Good, Robbie. There we go. Up, come on, go. Get on it again. Give it him. To the back. Back him up. Come on, when you get that. Yeah, Jack. Just set it and go. Robbie! Good, Here, mate, come here. Run! Oh, fucking right. Turn it. Get back! That's nice, Green! Yes! Excellent, on him, on it. Quickly. Come on.
Now we step.
Someone go get off me! Keep going.
Stop in the middle. Yes,
Show him!
Stay out now, Al. Right.
Kiss!
Here's the ball back down.
Kiss! Side. Speed up! Relax!
Jackie, come out! Yes.
Yeah, run!
Time, Ben. Time. Yes. Good team.
No rushes! Hold him, Matt, hold him! Yeah, come!
Back. He's there. And again, Con. Put it in now. Step. Get out.
Come back, Jack. Kiss! Come on! Yes, right, come on.
That's right, like.
Right.
Just from your shot. Yeah. I can't see the caveat, you still have possession. Get the box stick.
Give it in!
Stop. What are you doing? Go with him! Brilliant!
Keep it there, Matt. Going nowhere. Good, Matt. Yes.
A good win there for Brockton under-21s. And if you're involved with an under-21 side, whether it's in the Midlands Football League or not, and you want to send the footage in, please do. These are the youngsters that are the future of our game, and I want to give them as much coverage as some of the gnarled 35 and 40-year-old defenders that we have in the higher echelons of non-league football. So let's see some of these youngsters on Jumpers for Goalposts every week. Highlights now from a reserve game, and it's from Knoll Reserves against Alvechurch Reserves. Coverage courtesy Alvechurch TV.
Stand, Ellis. Stand, Ellis.
Yes.
In the East Midland Counties League, not many fixtures, again due to the FA VARs, but the standout game is Borrowash Victoria against Anstey Nomads. A win for Anstey will take them top of the table with the sides above them all in FA VARs action. In the West Midland Regional League Premier Division, and I'll get that right eventually, Wolverhampton Sporting Community still have a 100% record. As I've mentioned, they're away at Heathhays in the FA VARs. And in midweek, two excellent results in midweek. Tividale winning at Malvern Town. Malvern were unbeaten at that point. And how about Pegasus Juniors moving off the bottom of the table with a great win at Hereford Lads Club. Game of the day is without any doubt at Tividale. It's Tividale against Wolverhampton Casuals, two sides that will be in the promotion push at the end of the season. Should be one well worth watching. In Division 1 of the West Midland League, 3 points separate the top 5. I've picked out 2 games this week. One because I feel as though I ought to. It's top against 16th in Team Dudley at home to Willenhall Town. You can't see anything other than a victory for Team Dudley. But if you want to see goals, the game's going to be at Busselholme. It's Busselholme against Darlaston Town 1874. Both sides have been involved in lots of high-scoring games this season. I can't see this one being any different at all. Last week's game between the top 2, Seek Hunters and Warstone Wanderers, went the way of Seek Hunters, winning the game 5-2. And this week, they are at home to Gornal Colts. That's first against fourth. Looking a good bet for promotion, even this early in the season. I know it seems silly talking about promotion. You know, we're still only in September, but when sides make good starts like that, it really gives them the impetus to carry that through the rest of the season. That's it for the second issue, second version. Call it what you will. Programme number 2 of Jumpers for Goalposts. Thank you for all the kind comments that you've made from the first programme. If you'd like to see your team featured, whether it's us coming along and doing some filming, or you want to send us clips, please send the details through to content@jumpers.football. Have a look at our website, which is www.jumpers.football, and on there, if you click on a button, it tells you how we need to see, you know, what sort of format we want the clips in. That will just help us put this together. I'm going to finish with the only way that I think I ought to finish this week. Let's take another look at that wonderful goal by Jason Cowley for Bromsgrove Sporting at Pershore. Until next week, goodbye.
Left